Sushi has quickly grown to be one of the most eaten foods of the decade. But where exactly did the idea of sushi, in the form that you know it, come from? Today we're going to be exploring the origins of this delicious food and how it grew to be so prominent in the Western culture. Sushi. Perhaps one of the most enjoyed Japanese dishes in the world. Sushi is probably something you shouldn't be having almost every day, but most people do anyways, because what's not to love about the taste of salty, vinegary fish, vegetable, and rice wrapped in seaweed? Sushi is a type of dish that can be enjoyed by pretty much anyone for any event, whether it's a celebration for something or just looking to casually chill with a friend for lunch. But have you ever wondered how exactly did sushi come to be? How did rice, salt, rice vinegar, seaweed, vegetables, and fish become the ultimate delectable combo? That's what we're going to find out here today on Feed My Curiosity. If you're new here and you're liking what you're watching so far, why not hit that like and subscribe button to stay up to date? Now on to the origin of sushi. When investigating the origin of a dish, it's always appropriate to investigate the earliest forms of the dish. And there's a handful of early ancient dishes that eventually emerged to be the modern sushi that the world enjoys. Perhaps the earliest form of sushi can be traced back to ancient Southeast Asia, specifically the areas that surround the Mekong River, Myanmar, Laos, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, and further up to southern China. Here is where nori was prepared. The fish that were caught were simply scaled and gutted. Salt and fermented rice were involved, and their role was to simply preserve the raw fish. When it was eventually time to serve the fish, the rice would just be thrown away. Nori was sold as a whole fish covered in sauce, and then it was served by slicing and arranging the pieces in a visually attractive pattern. However, the thing about nori is that there's nothing attractive about the taste and smell. Nori was not supposed to be sweet like chocolate. In other words, the smellier and the more sour nori was, the better. As this preservation technique made its way into Japan during the Muromachi period, or the years between the 14th and 16th century, in came namanari, which replaced nori. While nori was fully fermented, namanari was only semi-fermented and was freshly served as fish wrapped in rice. The only thing with namanari was that it needed to be consumed before the taste changed over time. And during Japan's Edo period, or the years between the 17th and 19th century, heizushi was introduced. Heizushi translates to fast sushi and marked the first time rice no longer played the role of fermentation. Rice vinegar was also used for the first time, and the heizushi was prepared so fish, rice, and vinegar were simultaneously consumed. Yum! Funazushi is another type of early sushi, and it is made with funa, a carp fish that is taken from Lake Biwa. It is cured with salt and is further fermented with steamed rice. Along with eating funazushi, it is also said to have been offered to the gods. Nigiri sushi came about in the 19th century. Nigiri sushi, which meant finger sushi, was simply a log of rice with a slice of fish on top. The fish was marinated in soy sauce or vinegar and was sometimes cooked before serving. And finally, we got the makazushi, which came after the discovery of nori, a sheet of edible seaweed. Makazushi was prepared with nori, rice, and any kind of ingredients chefs want to put inside, including fish and or vegetables. Everything is rolled together using a bamboo mat and then cut into small-sized bites. So the early kinds of sushi that we have discussed have been loved and regularly enjoyed by the locals. But how exactly did word about the dishes spread outwards and around the world? On September 1st, 1923, Japan was hit with the most devastating earthquake of that time, which was named the Great Kanto Earthquake. The first shock was triggered around 12 o'clock noon, and the force of the quake was so strong that many buildings crumbled, while others were set on fire due to active cooking stoves. Unfortunately, the devastation didn't stop there, as the quake was soon followed by a 40-foot-high tsunami that swiftly struck everything in its path. Both the cities of Yokohama and Tokyo were hit hard by the disaster, and many people lost their lives, while survivors lost their homes. The displaced had to move elsewhere to find a new place to live, including the nigiri sushi chefs. These chefs dispersed, carrying knowledge about the dish with them. Once they settled into their new homes, they continued preparing the dish for those who ate their food and absolutely loved it. By the late 20th century, sushi had become a worldwide favorite, and even though the original forms of sushi, including makazushi and nigiri sushi, has stuck around, sushi has evolved and modernized into the kind of sushi we know today. And many people enjoy a variety of sushi prepared by their favorite East Asian restaurants. Yosomaki is a kind of makizushi, and hosomaki usually uses one kind of filling. The most common ingredient for the filling is usually tuna, cucumber, pickled daikon, and salmon. Another kind of makisushi is the futomaki, where more than one filling is used, and this is where chefs can get a little creative with their combos. They can do 2 kinds of fish, 2 kinds of vegetables, or a combination of a fish and a vegetable. The third kind of makizushi is the uramaki. This is where things get a little interesting. It uses more than one filling, like the futomaki, except this time the nori sheet is inside while the rice is is outside. The rice can be decorated with ingredients like sesame seeds. The most kind of Yoromaki sushi is the California roll, which is usually filled with cucumber, avocado, and crab meat, and decorated with sesame seeds. It is unclear who created the dish. One account claims that Los Angeles chef Ikiro Mashita from the city's Little Tokyo began preparing the earliest form of the California roll in the 1960s. It was prepared with the nori sheet on the outside, but people who ate it removed the nori because they thought they couldn't eat it. So basically, it had the appearance of an urimaki sushi. Another account claims Vancouver-based chef Hidekuzo Toyo is the original chef who prepared the California roll with the nori inside, and Toyo was the one who first used cucumber, crab, and avocado, the basic ingredients of the California roll. Another kind of sushi is the nigiri, which the rice is molded into a log and has sliced fish on top, such as salmon. Nigiri is the kind of sushi in which you're supposed to eat it with your hands. And if you choose to use soy sauce, you should only dip a piece of the fish, or else the taste may get too salty. And if sushi lovers love raw fish, they turn to sashimi, which doesn't have the rice and the nori. Sashimi eaters eat it with wasabi or soy sauce, and the shihimi can be eaten with chopsticks. There are many kinds of modern sushi out there, and many sushi chefs have become really creative with the combination of fillings they put inside the sushi. What is your favorite kind of sushi? What is the most interesting combination of fillings you have seen chefs use for sushi? Are there any other kinds of ancient pre-modern sushi dishes that we've missed? Please share your thoughts and comment below. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button as well. Thanks for joining us on Feed My Curiosity. See you next time.